met before until uh, recently. We've been tagged in the same video together where you were on a 4-on-1 competition from a Wild Beat production,
Yeah.
and the only way that you're here is if you won. So
That's right.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So that's
Appreciate it.
that's one thing. So congratulations on that. Can you tell me a little bit about that competition and what made you want to get on it?
Yeah, so a while beat that just kind of popped up in the Facebook group I was in for rappers. James had posted a promotion for it that said they were looking for rappers to participate in the challenge, and it was just at the right time for me because I was just starting to get my sound right, technically on the production side, and I was like, yeah, I'm down to do that. And so I jumped in there. Was real excited. That first one I did, I actually won, and so that was a couple of weeks ago. This last one that got me to introduce to you was either I can't remember the third or the fourth challenge that I won there. So
Oh
I told
man.
James when we first started talking, he's like, hey, we take people on as rappers, we take people on as judges, and I said, hey, let me go on as a rapper, let me prove myself worthy to be a judge, because that idea that if you're going to give somebody criticism,
You,
it's not
you,
really worth anything unless you've kind of been there yourself.
uh, True story. Shout out to everybody listening in, because that's something that I'm totally like against here. We don't really do like reviews or criticism on people. I mean, we try to help them out
Right.
in the most positive way possible. So we just, I hate those review things, man. It's like ridiculous. It's like taking over the world right now. I don't understand. But anyways, it's cool. It's cool. So I don't know almost anything about you. I got the bio in front of me. It's lovely. Okay, it seems like you got a real good story to go on. So, who is Layne Cornell?
Man, I'm just a guy, to be honest. If you want to get into a little bit of my personal history professionally, I was actually a high school math teacher for several years.
Okay, okay.
I moved out of that into the solar industry, and kind of as I started doing that, was able to start kind of investing in the music side. A lot of people don't realize it does take money to kind of put out quality music,
Uh huh.
you know. And so I had to make a couple changes, and it was just one of those things. It was like, okay, I know I want to do this. How do I do that? I don't know exactly, but I know that something will pop up, and this opportunity had popped up professionally that allowed me to kind of make some moves in the music scene too.
You know what's really crazy is like I think you're like the second math teacher I ever knew that rapped, but it was
Nice.
like my math teacher from
Oh,
high school from back in the day. So you drew inspiration from some of the '90s legends and things like that. You want to talk about that real quick?
for sure. I mean, you can't really talk about any of this stuff without mentioning Tupac. Just to pay respect and everything like that. But I have a strong connection with Tupac because when I was just graduating high school, my dad and I took a road trip from Virginia out to the West Coast, to California, where I grew up, and we only had two CDs. We had Tupac's Greatest Hits, which was actually a double disc, and then we
Yeah.
had Rush's Greatest Hits, and that Rush was one of my dad's favorite bands, and so we drove across the country just listening to these two albums on repeat. And my
Wow.
dad was not a rap fan at all. Like
No,
he didn't like
he
rap. He thought
probably
it was
hated that.
yeah, he thought it was like for mentally challenged people because it just was dumbed down music.
Yeah.
But after listening to Tupac's Greatest Hits for however long, it was like a 5-day drive.
Okay.
That's the only thing we listened to. He got to listen to his story. He got to look at things from Tupac's eyes.
Yeah.
He got to appreciate the music and the rhythms and the patterns. And so, in a way, I kind of have it's kind of a tie to my father. Tupac is kind of a special thing as well.
Yeah.
Besides just all the inspiration that I'm sure you're a Tupac fan yourself.
I wasn't. I'm from New York, so we
Okay.
hated him growing
Well,
up.
he was from New York too,
I
though, right?
know, and then he went to the West Coast and blew up, which understandably at that time was
Yeah.
the best thing for him. And Tupac for me wasn't a lyricist, but one of your favorite lyricists was Rakim, right?
Oh yeah.
And what was it about Rakim? Because Rakim and Tupac way too different.
Different
For
styles for
yeah.
sure, but both really skilled at what they do. Rakim was just a, master wordsmith, and it comes out in the flow. The thing that's beautiful is like he'll just be flowing words like you're like, I didn't realize you could rhyme that way or that many words, and like it's melodic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, he's like dropping all these punchlines, these double entendres, and then on top of that, all this wisdom, like actual real life stuff that if you're listening to Rakim's music, like you can actually apply that stuff in your real life and start to get results. And that's like some deep stuff, you know what I mean, for music, for rap music.
And then we have what people are considered, no matter what list, is somebody's top 5, and currently right now being viral again, Eminem, right?
No doubt, for sure.
And what was it? Because for me, it took a very long time for me to adjust to Eminem. What was it about Eminem that got you there?
Man, it was just perfect timing for everything. Like when I discovered Eminem, I think I was just going into high school. And somebody gave me like a bootlegged copy, and it was seriously one of those things that you had to like keep hidden from your parents, like a bad report card, like you talked about.
True story.
And it was just like, damn, it was just like, it just totally captured you. You know what I mean? I'm not alone in the fact that I had a challenging upbringing and a challenging childhood and stuff like that. And so Eminem's music, it just totally captured your attention in a way that kind of made you forget about all the garbage that you're dealing with in your life, that maybe, that a lot of people go through at a young age. They shouldn't be dealing with at that age. And so, but that music somehow steps in where maybe people have failed you, sometimes because it inspires you in a lot of ways. And so Eminem, my thing with Eminem was just like I totally respected him as an artist. He captured my attention, and he went all out like as a villain with Slim Shady and like his whole battle persona and everything.
Yes.
And I was always thinking like, man, I would just love to see Eminem take that skill and use it in a more positive way. That was how I felt initially. Looking back on it now, I still think he did do that in his way, but I always thought it would be cool to have a rapper that had that skill with the lyrics and the flow that was, straight to the point with just putting out a positive message for people. I think he started to do that a lot more as he's gotten older.
As he got older, he did.
Yeah.
And then people were calling him out like it's WWE.
Yeah, and you love that. You gotta love that.
Yeah,
man. Awesome.
It is. That's the most entertaining thing about hip hop, even though it does separate families. I really don't understand how it does that. So these 3 versions, do you believe that these really capture who you are and what you do?
I think as a start, for what I'm looking to do, I'm also a very big L fan.
Okay, shout out to Big L.
One of his lines, one of my favorite lines of his, he says, "Never try to look or sound like another rapper." So I'm not out here trying to be like Tupac, Eminem, or Rakim, or even Big L. But I just respect them. I look at what they're doing. I try to take notes, in certain ways. But at the same time, I'm my own person. I'm my own artist, and I don't want to come out being the next Eminem. I don't want to come out being some dude that's just sounding like, somebody that's trying to sound like Tupac or something like that. But those are big influences on me. Yeah, for sure.
What's really crazy is that being an educator and then going into what people are believing now, like the future of our power, right? There's something in there like where saving the world is part of your doing. Like either you're trying to educate these damn kids, they don't listen to you anyway. So shout out to you, because that's big patience. And then you go out there and you're trying to save the world. Any of that captivates in your music?
There was for a long time that kind of, get out there, save the world, do stuff to change the world in some way. And that was a big motivation for getting into teaching. Now my mindset's kind of changed a bit. I'm kind of more just of the mindset. I just want to leave a good impact on people.
Okay.
I think trying to say that I need to change the world is a little too much responsibility.
Yeah.
But I do, the way I look at it now is, try to change my world, right? Try to make my world better. if I can make my world better, then the people who are in my world, you know, their world gets better.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of a pay it forward type of situation. Then that's how you're starting to change the world. It's really this thing. It's like you don't want to just go out trying to help all these people, but you can't help yourself, you know. And so there's this constant having to build on a foundation through, which is, you know, career, and just trying, you know, have a solid life myself. And then that way I can be of most service to other people, whether it's through music or some other means, you know.
Big shout out to everybody listening. Tune in to QSJRadio.com. Home to the unsigned artists. We have Layne Cornell in the building. Austin, Texas, right?
That's where I'm located.
So, I love Austin, Texas, okay? And the thing is, I haven't been there. But I know that it is a mosh pit. And I also know one of the biggest festivals come through there. Have you been in or attended that festival?
I've passed through it, and I've seen how crazy it is. I have not yet had that full experience. And there's all different types of levels you can do with the are you talking about South by Southwest?
Yes, I am.
So yeah, I mean, you can, you know, pop into a couple little shows or whatever and have a couple drinks, or you can go for a whole VIP experience where you're Ubering around, you know, in a first class ride to the hottest, you know, shows and artists that are from all over the world. And so yeah, I haven't had really either experience. I just kind of passed through, and it was a ton of people. People come from everywhere.
It's a lot. It's very intimidating, I guess. You know what I mean? And I can understand that. So big shout out to that. But we do have something coming up with that, so you might want to stay in contact. Okay. We might have to do that. So your message empowers people to step into the role of creator in their own lives and recognize problems as opportunities to take advantage of. You share your journey through heartbreak and struggle that has brought him to the point of choosing to use that pain as a stepping stone instead of an anchor. Music does that for a lot of people. It brings them. The dead heart has a heartbeat through the songs, and you know what are some things that are going on that well, not to get too crazy with it, but why bring the heartbreak and struggle to the music?
Well, I think it's just something that can be debilitating, you know, if you've been on either side of the breakup, whether you've, you know, broken someone's heart or you've had your heart broken. It can kind of set you back from being your best self, from being productive and really, you know, going after what you want in life. And so it's really just that idea of, you know, making lemonade out of lemons, right? If things don't go the way that you wanted them to, like, go ahead and cry about it, you know, but put a time limit on it. Don't go, you know, don't cry much more than 5 minutes about something, and basically, you know, recognize all that emotion that comes up as energy that you can direct towards something productive, something positive. And in my case, it's music right now. That's what I use. That's what I choose to create. That's where I choose to direct that energy. But everybody can do that. You don't have to be a musician. You know, you can take that energy into the workplace and have, you know, the best income of your life. You know, you can take that energy, you know, to any competitions that you want to do in athletics, if you do jiu-jitsu or whatever, and you can use any kind of energy that or emotion that has held you back. You can use it. I remember when I used to play football in high school, and I had some interactions with adult figures that you know had left a mark on me and stuff. And so I would think about that pain when we were practicing, and I would hit that bag. Like, when I noticed when I was thinking about some pain from like childhood or whatever, I would smash the hell out of the bag. You know, coach would stop. Okay, everybody see what he did there? We need to hit like that, right? And so that's kind of the concept with this. Yeah, it's like take pain, take heartbreak, turn it into something positive.
Okay. You know, hitting a bag is is positive because it's not a human or any living thing. But okay, I see where you're going there, and it's kind of cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break, and we're going to come into the present time of you. But I'm gonna do something that I'm probably gonna break this song through.
Okay.
Mended Heart. Since we're talking about it, this is unreleased, right? This is coming out soon, right?
Yep, Sunday should be out.
Okay, so we'll go in there. We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about what's going on with you. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Shout out to everybody listening. Layne Cornell, this one right here, exclusively on QSJ Radio.
Yep, first time.
Tell me how am I supposed to go home? Now that you're gone, everything is so wrong. I'm on the ledge just trying to hold on. And right now I'm not feeling so strong. Somebody please tell Cupid quit throwing darts. How you supposed to fall in love when you got a broken heart? My soulmate says she changed and we grown apart. My world don't make no sense now, it's all blown apart. All I have left to live for is this vocal art. Trying to transform this broken heart into an open heart. Praying for healing cause this feeling feels so dark. I know I'ma be alright for the most part. And I'ma get back on my feet, but it's a slow start. I think I might go solo, no co-star. At least for now, while I'm looking for my North Star. Might take a trip, write some lyrics somewhere offshore. Come up with something dope and take the show on tour. Still I'll be thinking about it during the encore. This heartbreak ain't no joke, no it's hardcore. Must be a glutton for punishment cause I want more. Tell me how am I supposed to go on? Now that you're gone, everything is so wrong. I'm on the ledge just trying to hold on. And right now I'm not feeling so strong. Tell me how am I supposed to go on? Now that you're gone, everything is so wrong. I'm on the ledge just
You're listening to QSJ Radio exclusive.
I feel like every action is a distraction from the pain I'm feeling, that's the price of this passion. I just pray this will give me some more compassion, cause right now I feel like Cupid's an assassin. I'm backtracking, I keep asking how it happened, how we get here, this isn't how I imagined. We planned a future together, now I'm abandoned. Everything's all upside down like a handstand. Got me thinking I might need to get a CAT scan. Got me going crazy, acting like a madman. And I just feel like breaking everything like Bam Bam. But I'll be damned if I let it make me a bad man. I think I might just take a walk until I can't stand. The more I think about it, seems like it's a grand plan. Cause somehow, some way I need a change, yeah. I think I can make it through another day, yeah. Tell me how am I supposed to go home? Now that you're gone, everything is so wrong. I'm on the ledge just trying to hold on. And right now I'm not feeling so strong. Please tell me how do I go on without you now? I'ma show you how I'ma go on. Now that you're gone, I'm just saying so long. I was on the edge just trying to hold on. But now I'm on top and I'ma go strong. I'ma show you how I'ma go on. Now that you're gone, I'm just saying so long. I was on the edge just trying to hold on. But now I'm on top and I'ma go strong. Despite the years that I lost trying to make you happy, and the tears that I dropped getting all sappy, I'ma be a gentleman, I'ma keep it classy. Just know I'ma be fine, you don't need to ask me. I'ma be on my grind because I have to be. And I'ma heal on my own and do it naturally. Turn this pain into gold and practice alchemy. And I don't really care who you date after me. There's only one like me in the galaxy. Now that I'm practically free from your gravity, I'ma go after my dream and live my fantasy. So thank you for the pain and for the agony. Cause this insanity don't have to be a tragedy. See, I can feel more now, there's more capacity. It makes me think this was part of God's strategy. Cause I'm a better man for it, that's reality. I'ma show you how I'ma go on. Now that you're gone, I'm just saying so long. I was on the edge just trying to hold on. But now I'm on top and I'ma go strong. I'ma show you how I'ma go on. Now that you're gone, I'm just saying so long. I was on the edge just trying to hold on. But now I'm on top and I'ma go strong.
QSJ Radio.
Where the unsigned go to get heard. QSJ Radio.
Exclusive on QSJRadio.com, Layne Cornell, Mended Heart. But recently, Layne won a Wild Beat Rap Challenge with a track called Transcendental Flow. I fucked that up. But anyways, judges said that the lyrics and flow were clean, smooth, even with the beat switching the style every 8 bars. When it changed to reggaeton, Layne started spitting in Spanish. without a step. and of course, there's a whole bunch of fans and a whole bunch of things that's going on there where they were like, mind-blowing flow, amazing voice, lyrical genius, all this other stuff comes up. I don't know how you could deal with that, because then all of a sudden that becomes pressure, doesn't it? Like,
it can be, right? But it's all up to you how you deal with pressure. You know, it's like I choose to look at it a little differently. I just appreciate that there are people that are listening to what I'm saying, and so I just step back and just say, let me try to be a little conscious about what I say. People are actually listening, and you know, the whole pressure thing, it's kind of in your head.
yeah,
You know, at the end of the day, it's like you just show up and you do what you love and you do your best with what you have, and there's always going to be critics. In fact, that's a good sign if there's critics, you know.
yeah, definitely.
Look at Kamikaze, man. Without critics,
that's an everyday conversation now. It's actually like people don't understand. Like,
we wouldn't have,
yeah.
If it wasn't for that, you
Shout
know.
out to the critics, man. Shout out to.
You gotta love them. In fact, I'll share this briefly, and this is a little bit from kind of the recent past, but it's kind of what catapulted me into working on some serious projects. I was responding to a critic. I had posted a couple little video raps in some Facebook groups, and somebody got on there and was basically talking trash about it, and it was like, oh, it's no good, you suck, and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly word for word, but I have that mentality that, like, unless you're better than me, like, you have no business telling me that I suck, you know? And so I basically wrote a quick...
You can get into battle mode, basically.
Yeah. So I basically went into battle mode. I got on... Can you curse on here?
Yeah, go ahead, freely. I'll fucking flip out if you want me.
Your fucking head split, you know that track?
Yeah.
So okay. I grabbed that beat and did a little battle track on it, and I posted a verse to that dude. And he disappeared. He's gone. He never responded, nothing. And I'm not really a battle rapper, but that criticism brought it out of me. So I posted this verse, and it was because of that video, I ended up meeting some people that were able to kind of guide me in the right direction as far as developing my sound and songwriting skills. Lovely. And so had it not been for that guy hating on some other video, you know, I might not have made the moves I've made in the recent months.
Recent months? Oh, okay. So nice switch up. So what's going on in the recent months? What's any projects that we should be looking out for? Anything that you're doing new that is working?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just writing a lot. Focus is on basically working with quality beats, and I feel like I'm on a good place with that right now. So I'm not even in a place where I'm like looking for beats. There was a time where I was like, I just need some beats to rap to, and now I feel like, okay, I've got enough people that are excited to work with me and supply beats that are quality beats that I don't need to worry about that, you know.
No more YouTube.
And so I just been writing a lot, working on a project. Definitely, we'll have 3 songs out on major platforms that are kind of just singles. Okay. That's the present moment, and so a lot of the stuff I'm doing now is getting ready for some of the future stuff.
Okay.
Right. So I'm working on a project that'll be released. I don't have a date for it yet. I'd be happy to talk about some of the concepts behind it if there's time.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the idea behind the album is basically to call it 3 Kings.
Yeah.
And it's just an opportunity for me to express my story through 3 different versions of myself. Right.
What are these versions?
So there's basically levels, right? So you could say the lowest level is the block warrior. That's kind of the gangster battle rapper type.
Okay.
You know, so a lot of these tracks that I've been doing on the Wild Beat challenges fit that persona because I come out as the villain.
Okay.
But as a
the
king,
angry white boy. We got the angry white boy in the building.
That's right. That's right. So that's all that like battle rap stuff, all that, anything that's like aggressive is all fit into that persona. So I basically it's been therapeutic for me because I'm like, now I have an outlet for all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Now I have I have an image of myself that I could pour all that into. I'm allowed to be the villain. You know what I mean? So then when I go back to my real life, I don't have to actually be the villain.
Yeah.
You know? Not to say that
it's basically like
my kindness for weakness, right?
Yeah. Like you're leaving it there. You know,
Right.
versus bringing it back. You know,
Right.
okay.
So that's the first one.
All right.
And so then the second one is kind of like a more matured level. I look at it as a lot of the underground conscious hip hop that's more collaborative. You know, it's not me versus you. It's not me trying to be better than you, or, you know, sleep with your girlfriend, or, and that, you know, all the typical, you know, hip hop stuff. Let's leave that to the Block Warrior. This one I call it the Time Warrior, because it's basically where you realize that, you know, the most valuable currency is probably your time and how you're spending your attention in each moment. And once you realize that, you're able to make moves that the Block Warrior couldn't do just through aggression. You're able to work with people that formerly would have been an enemy, right? So we're moving into a collaborative role, and that's kind of where I'm at in the present right now with the music thing, is looking to do features and collaborations with other artists.
Lovely.
And so then the next level up would be what I would be like, kind of like a Jedi warrior type king, you know, kind of just evolved in the sense that it's like it's basically my highest self. It's like the most enlightened version of myself. It's like
the selfish.
Above all the BS. I see it all, and I can go down and participate in it through being the Block Warrior, the Time Warrior. But you know, that highest level is basically where I'm able to just drop some real knowledge without any kind of masks or, you know, characters. It's basically an opportunity for me to reach for higher ground. It's like, I want to be that Jedi Knight, and so, you know, let me sit down and try to write some lyrics that touch the human spirit, you know.
Big shout out to that. 3 Kings. I can't wait for that. Oh my God. Oh, shout out to that. Shout out to everybody listening. If you guys didn't know, there's other 3 versions of him. He used to be a math teacher. He used to over there be a solar tech. Now you're out here freestyling like crazy. What do you do on your off time when you're not doing this music thing?
Nah, man, it's a full-time thing, man. You gotta stay on it. You know, it's like if I'm not doing that, I'm strictly just resting from that. So I just basically spend a lot of time. You know, I meditate, and I, you know, write, and just spend time sitting in silence and thinking. You know, that I find helps to organize the thoughts when I sit down with the music. And plus, you know, I'm sure you're familiar with benefits of meditation and stuff. I don't mean to preach that, but that's basically.
Yeah, you're good. I need some meditation in my life. You talking
about? It's the way
I
look at it,
damn
man. Like,
kids. Anyways,
in this industry, and really, what I realized about myself was that I was, you know, my personality type is I'm a performer, right? And when I didn't know that I was a performer, I thought I was just a worker. Like I couldn't keep up that grind all the time. Like I would show, like in the classroom, if I showed up with the worker mentality, it was like I was trying to hustle and grind and get the job done, and it just was too much friction. But when I realized that I was a performer, then basically that allowed me to fill the space in between what I'm doing with rest and rehearsal. And so that's been beautiful with the music, because it's so important to practice. You know, like you don't want to end up on stage and you don't know your own stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and people think that they know their own stuff, but it does actually take practice. Like you gotta put in time.
It does.
You gotta imagine that you're on stage, and you gotta
do it in. You gotta go in.
You gotta do it. You gotta stand in front of the mirror and all that.
Yeah, because you do. You really do. And not to be crazy, but I've so many shows that I've been to, right? And because that's another thing that we do. We participate in what's going on in the unsigned world, grinds and all that stuff. You'll see artists take breathers as if everyone in the crowd knows their song, and I'm like, you're not there yet. like you have to tell us what the song is. Like you're not there yet. But
and that's interesting. Like the showbiz side of doing shows, because I think that's the case when you're starting off. Like you're doing a concert. If you're doing a concert in front of a couple thousand people and you're just starting off, that doesn't mean those couple thousand people came to see you. You're probably opening up for somebody, or you're doing some event or something. They just happen to be there, which is cool, right? Yeah. But it's a whole different thing when you're selling tickets and 1,000 people are buying tickets to come see you than when you're just showing up at some event and getting on stage. You know.
What's going on? Like, big shout out to everybody listening. Tune in to QSJRadio.com. Layne Cornell in the building. What social media do you use the most? And if somebody wanted to contact you,
Mostly Facebook.
okay.
And I just go through my personal page right now, so that's fine. I'm cool with people reaching out to me if they got want to do work together in some way. You can also go to my website. It's just laynecornell.com, LayneCornell.com.
Been a long time since I told since the artist came up to me and said they got a website. I'm just saying, hint, hint. You know what I mean? You're always trying to bring people back to you. Like, there's a I can message you on there, but I really need you to go here. And laynecornell.com. Make sure you go there. Okay.
Yeah, so like if people want to stay up to date on some of this stuff that we've been talking about and what I'm doing with music, you can follow me on Facebook. That's one way. But if you go to the website, there's an email list you can join, and I can send out emails about things that are going on. If you want to know about shows or new releases coming out and that kind of thing, that you can get on there. And I do little things sometimes where I do like a behind the scenes type stuff and.
Okay.
Just talk about the concepts behind the music. I find that people appreciate that, kind of knowing where the lyrics came from and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to stay connected like that, I would say Facebook or join that email list on the website.
Big shout out to that. An email list. Somebody's been doing their homework. Anyways, big shout out to everybody listening. Layne Cornell. You can go to laynecornell.com or you can hit him up on that Facebook and message him there and see what's going on. Now, artists usually, especially being an educator and working that hard work, now there's a plan, right? You're taking this serious, and there's a plan. What is the goal? What is Layne Cornell's goal for doing this hip hop thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty obvious ones, like get an album done.
Yeah. Okay. Three Kings. It's out for January.
Yeah. So I've gotten some great feedback on the recent releases, and so it's just a sign that this is the right thing to do. Let's finish the whole album, and then from there, I think video is a great way to connect with people. So music videos around those songs, that's definitely something I want to do. And now on the feature side of things, I want to work with some pretty big artists. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy to collaborate with skilled lyricists that are doing their thing. I'm also trying to go up to that next level. So I actually got a campaign going right now to raise some funds for people that would like to see a collaboration with Slim Thug.
Okay.
And so there's a GoFundMe campaign for that.
I like that.
Like to see that happen.
He said, "My fans will make it happen." Okay,
right.
That is lovely.
Well, the way that it came about was I just love Slim Thug, man, and he put out a couple songs last year, and a lot of my stuff is inspired by him. Like we talked about the Three Kings, as a concept for the album. That's my own twist on it for sure. But he came out with American King a couple years ago, and there's a track on there called King. And that song, man, kickstarted my morning every day. Like I put that track on, and I'd be in the gym working out, listening, and he's spitting like real wisdom, stuff that gets you motivated. It's like, okay, stay on top. It's like stuff you put into practice as soon as you finish. And so, it was a song that actually impacted me. It wasn't just entertainment. And I listened to it every day for like 2 years, man. And so, I just had this huge love for Slim Thug, and I'm like, I want to make music like that. I love his flow, his sound, and I was like, I basically got in touch with his manager, and I was just like, what is he doing features now? What's that process look like? Yeah. And so we talked about that, and so I'm basically working on making that happen. And it's one of those things. It's like I can do it myself. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to save up, the money to pay the fee that he has. He's a professional. Yeah. And so if there are people that would want to see it happen sooner, the way to do that is just by contributing to the campaign.
Big shout out to that. And where that campaign located right now? On the .com?
Yeah, it's on GoFundMe, but there's a shortcut if you do Bitly. If you do bit.
Is that what your profile pic is?
Yeah. My profile pic is the URL for that right now. So,
okay, definitely.
bit.ly/Slim Thug with a capital S and a lowercase t.
Somebody's not playing. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out
It's
to
funny
that.
though, because when I shared that campaign, I shared it on Facebook. I didn't realize this, but the same day that I shared that campaign was his birthday.
Wow.
And so I found that out. I went to his Instagram page, and he was talking about how it was his birthday. And I was like, oh, well, happy birthday, man. You know, we got it started here. So it's almost like the stars aligning, you know?
Yeah. Shout out to that. Shout out to everybody listening. I know that's going to happen. So shout out to that. So what we're going to do is going to take a little break, and we're getting into this song Pledge now. Pledge has been captivating me for a few days now. Okay. You're talking about warm up in the gym. These are because of you. And
nice.
what's the story behind this Pledge right here?
Yeah, the story behind Pledge is basically, it kind of goes with some of the stuff we were talking about trying to get out there and save the world. And a lot of times people stretch themselves too thin and they forget to take care of themselves. It's really basically a declaration to self-care. It's like, take care of yourself, drink your water, hit the gym, like move around, you know, make your money, like do good at what you do. And also there's this thing that we have as humans where we always want someone to give us permission to do what we want to do. Like we want someone to say, yeah, it's okay to do that. And I found myself doing that with this music stuff. Like is it okay for me to start a GoFundMe campaign to raise $5,000 to do a collaboration with Slim Thug? I'm like, well, hold on. I pledge allegiance to myself. I want to do that, and so I'm going to do that. I don't need permission from somebody. Yeah. Now I can go and get guidance from somebody that's done it, and you know, basically look for mentors and how to get results in that area. You know, campaigning, getting donations. That's a skill. It's not just like you just throw a link up and then all of a sudden you got the money.
Yeah.
And so I could seek out mentors and how to basically communicate why I'm doing it and that kind of stuff. But I don't need anybody's permission to make the music I want to make or do anything that I want to do in my life, right? I trust myself. And that doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes and look back on them and learn from them. But at the end of the day, you are the authority in your life. And that's really the message in this song. And it's a concept that I was introduced to, you know, in the last year. And it's a concept that has just totally changed the way I look at things. So
here it is, Pledge, Layne Cornell on QSJRadio.com.
Now pledge allegiance to yourself. You're fully authorized. You don't need permission from anybody else. I'm making microphones melt, spit flames in a fireproof sound booth. Better call for help. I'm back at it, serving all you rap addicts. I'm a fiend too. I don't think that it's a bad habit. I'm just out here trying to add to my money magnet. If you got a problem with that, I don't want to hear about it. The clock is ticking, running out of optimism. Consider what your option is, because I got the vision. I was doing this before I had a pot to piss in. Even my elders told me that I had a lot of wisdom. I put my cell phone, rapping on my cell phone. Now I'm well known, y'all. What the hell is going on? I'm meditating on the microphone. I'm getting questions about inspiration and how I write a song. When that lightning is striking, there's no time to stall. Elbows up, keep your eye on the ball. I'm about to knock one out the park and I'ma do it for y'all. You're the only reason that I even do it at all. Now pledge allegiance to yourself. You're fully authorized. You don't need permission from anybody else. I'm making microphones melt, spit flames in a fireproof sound booth. Better call for help. I feel the rhythm and the vibe. Making music's the only thing that ever really made me feel alive. All my homies ride or die. My friends are living legends. Couldn't find us with your third eye if you tried. I always trust my premonition. My intuition never steered me wrong, so I had to learn how to listen. I upgraded my position. VIP like I'm supposed to be, so be careful who you cowards listen. Can't you tell I'm on a mission? I'm going with the flow, cause now I'm done with all the motherfucking competition. I ain't new to opposition. I keep my vibe high, so you might just wanna stop and listen. If you don't know about my paper, make $1 million every time I take the stage and pull off a caper. If you don't like it, you a hater. Ain't got no time for negativity, I only chill with them real creators. Now pledge allegiance to yourself. You're fully authorized, you don't need permission from anybody else. I'm making microphones melt, spit flames in a fireproof sound booth. Better call for help. Now pledge allegiance to yourself. You're fully authorized, you don't need permission from anybody else. find us with your third eye if you tried. I met the devil in the mirror, looking at me through my own eyes, and I told him I had no fear. Said I'd be dead within a year. That was almost 2 years ago. Guess what, yo, I'm still here, making music that you will hear. Sipping on a cold beer, asking all y'all to click here. I think it's time that we switch gear. I used to cry when I was broke, now I'm wealthy, I got rich tears. Now I just kick it with my peers. Thanks to all my real friends out there that ever lent me an ear. I'll be a pioneer till the day I disappear. My rap career's taking off past the atmosphere. Now pledge allegiance to yourself. You're fully authorized, you don't need permission from anybody else. I'm making microphones melt, spitting flames in a fireproof sound booth. Better call for help.
Wondering where to get heard, your music played, your video aired, how to get paid, blogs, etc. Here at QSJ Radio, we provide all the info needed for you to have it all done. We are the #1 source for underground music and home to the unsigned artists.
Shout out to everybody listening. Tune in to QSJRadio.com. Home to the unsigned artist, Layne Cornell. That was pledged right there. You can find him on Twitter too, the right Layne. Right? I don't know if you go on there a lot. Do you go on there a lot?
I got an account, but I haven't been managed that so much. Facebook's really the main one. But you can go to Spotify and search my name. Most of the major platforms, you can go Apple Music and stuff as well. But if you want to connect on social media, right now I'm looking at Facebook, and into the future, I think Instagram will probably be a good move. It's just me doing it, you know what I mean? So I try to focus most of my energy on the music. So that social media, all that kind of stuff is kind of on the back burner right now.
Okay, I mean, it's all good. You're getting the right connects, you know what I mean? So you made it here to QSJ Radio. So it's all good. And big shout out to Wild Bee Production, man, for doing their thing over there. I mean, that dude is, you know, not for nothing, but that dude, Jay, is tweaking his own talent by tweaking other people's talent. And that's what captivated me to be part of what he's doing, because it's helping, it's showing mad love. That's what we do, you know. That's what we showing mad love. So shout out to James Bradley and Wild Bee Production, and he's also a one-man team. And
and he's a great example of just like showing up consistently, and you can look at the evolution of what he's done, but he's just every week he's there, you know, just like you are.
Shout out to that. Shout out to everybody listening. Tune in to QSJRadio.com. Home of the unsigned artists. Like I said, we're here with Layne Cornell. Find him on LayneCornell.com. Find him on Facebook. And he got a GoFundMe out to do features. He is not hiding that artists got to pay for shit. All right. So listen, he's trying to get there. You see the skills. You see him here. Do you miss teaching though? Like.
Well, I'm still teaching in a way, you know. It's different. I mean, I miss the kids, you know. Like, there's a lot of really cool things about teaching. You know, I don't miss the schedule and kind of being cooped up in a room and that kind of stuff. But you know, I do love the kids. It's definitely an important work, and I've got a lot of respect and love for all the teachers out there. You know.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
Doing. Yeah.
Shout out to them. Oh my gosh. The reason I say that is because I went to my stepson's 8th grade senior year trip, right? And I went as a chaperone, and I'm like the only dude. So I'm like, okay, cool, it's whatever. And these kids are really bad. Like these kids are freaking out of control, and I had to really put these kids at attention, and I was trying to figure out my boundaries. Like, we're in Sismonian. My lisp is coming out, but we're in DC, and you know there's sections in there where you're just watching the TV, and these kids are like all over the place, and I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, they're trying to watch the Titanic. Like, they're trying to watch this. But anyways, the patience that you guys have at the same time trying to educate these badass kids, shout out to you guys, for real. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know. But for real, big shout out to that. And you know, doing this whole thing right here, and I'm sure there's people that are listening right now that have been inspired by you. And now we're going to have to get to know you a little bit better. Okay.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot about this part.
We have now started our fast round, where our guests are asked a few questions about themselves that they wouldn't expect us to ask.
Don't worry, it's not like that.
Hope you didn't think we were that underground.
So what we do here on the fast round is we give you 2 minutes to answer 20 questions. You answer these 20 questions, we will send you more resources, okay? And we will send you some goodies. And
right.
you know,
I like goodies.
it's always good to have some goodies. Now, these are not going to get you in any kind of trouble, all right?
Okay.
These are just things to get to know you better. The counter will start at the end of the first question.
All right.
What hobby would you get into if time and money weren't an issue?
Golf.
What is the most annoying habit that other people have?
Complaining.
What would be the most amazing adventure to go on?
A trip around the world on a cruise ship.
What is your favorite drink?
Water.
What songs have you completely memorized?
Lose Yourself by Eminem. Dear Mama by Tupac. And Morning Star by Incubus.
Okay. Are you usually early or late?
Early.
What takes up too much of your time?
Work.
What are some small things that make your day better?
Meditating, a nice walk outside, some time with the dog, connecting with friends and family, making music.
What age do you wish you can permanently be?
33.
What's your claim to fame?
Well, I am a spiritual gangster rapper, so I'm one of a kind.
What have you only recently formed an opinion about?
Politics.
Oh my God, fuck politics. What was the best book or series you've ever read?
Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Oh my God, he really had a book ready. What is the most heartwarming thing you've ever seen?
Family Man with Nicolas Cage, the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's a great movie.
If you were a dictator of a small island nation, what crazy dictator stuff would you do?
Everybody would have to take their turns giving me a foot massage, and basically hitting the record button on Ableton so we can get some music done.
Okay. What are you most looking forward to in the next 10 years?
I'm looking forward to working with some amazing people and connecting with people that are passionate about what they're doing. I'm looking forward to having a family and making a lot of money.
What piece of entertainment do you wish you can erase from your mind so that you could experience it for the first time again?
I could erase from my mind so I could experience it for the first time again. I guess it would just be that first time you jump off a cliff into a lake. It's so scary.
What?
And once you do it, though, it's so easy.
That's that
It's
white people stuff.
you go for it. I could forget that it's not that bad. Still
Okay.
be scared.
Okay.
Go do it again.
All right, cool. Awesome. Never me. All right. What difference was your life 1 year ago?
1 year ago, I had no music out. I was in between jobs, and I was very open to getting some guidance in my life. And now I'm in a place where I feel much more grounded and stable and trust myself to make decisions in my life.
What do you wish you knew more about?
I wish I knew more about social media and like why people basically click on stuff, and so I'd like to learn more about copywriting
Okay.
and that kind of thing.
We talked about a lot of things here. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
First, I just got to tell everybody he survived this fast round, so we're going to get your information and we're going to get you some stuff, okay?
Right.
Lovely, lovely answers, everything like that. It's really good to see that you're focused. But the music, all right? What would life be without it?
Be rather boring. And I've gone through periods of life where I wasn't doing it. And I know that this is something a lot of artists experience. And by artist, it doesn't just mean musician or someone that paints or anything. It includes all of that, but it's just getting that out of you somehow, creating something. If I'm not creating on some level, then I'm basically a spectator. You know, I'm just kind of going through the motions, and that is some soul-killing stuff. So whether it's music or some type of written word or some kind of business that I'm creating, it's got to be something that allows me to be the creator. Without that, life is not worth going. It's not worth playing somebody else's game your whole life. Like, you've got to do it to learn some stuff, but at some point you've got to create the game that you're playing.
Big shout out to that. Shout out to everybody listening. Layne Cornell, official. A lovely interview that we had here, man. It was a pleasure having you on. Oh my God, let's get serious and don't grade my math ever. You can find him on his website, LayneCornell.com. You can find him on Facebook, and if you really like what's going on with him, have an opportunity to support his dream to do a song with Slim, and that would be really cool. To see that break out the way it's supposed to, you know what I mean? That's really cool. That's a really big risk, and I'm liking how you're doing it. You're not, taking out a loan for it. So it's cool. Shout out to a Wild Beat production again. They do big things there, and hopefully everybody understands. They're very engaging. All right, there's a lot of fan base over there, so I just want to give a shout out to James Bradley for always having us on and putting these super talented people on our show. Thank you. But if you had any words for anybody, because I know you've been doing it for not a big long time, what are some of the things that you've learned so far that some unsigned artists really need to take serious?
Man, there's a couple things I could tell you right now. There's two that come to mind that I think are really valuable for anybody that's really wanting to do this but are kind of maybe plateauing. One would just be continue to do the best you can with the resources that you have right now. Like, if all you have is a cell phone and a CD player, play the beat and record yourself, rap into it, and just keep doing that and learn how to get a better sound and find out that, oh, okay, I need a laptop. Oh, I need this piece of software. I'm going to need this much money to get it done. Set the goal, put it in your budget, go make the money, go buy that stuff, do what you got to do to get a better sound. And now maybe you're not at the point where you're putting out platinum quality yet, but you've at least upgraded, you've improved, and that gets people's attention. People appreciate that you're taking it serious, and people notice when your sound improves. And so always be thinking, how can I improve this sound? All these rappers are always thinking about, how can I be a better rapper? How can I write better lyrics? And we focus on that so much, and that's great. In addition to that, you got to focus on these other things. You got to focus on the quality of the sound. You got to be willing to put some money into it in order to, pay somebody to mix and master it professionally. If you really want to have something out on, Apple Music, you got to be willing to pay people for their time to bring your art to the full expression. So it's something that you got to be willing to do. And then the other thing would be, when you're writing a song, and this is just for people that are open-minded to it, right? If you're doing your thing, you don't care about, just keep doing your thing. But if you're looking for tips on how to write a good song, have a really clear image in your mind of who you're talking to when you're writing the song. So actually, imagine somebody in your life and write a message to them. Like, you don't have to tell them you wrote them a song if you don't want to. You can. But that type of thing brings out some serious emotion, because in our relationships, in our real life, there's real emotion.
So personal. And then, and if you're really personal, it's a hit. You know what I mean? And
then the lyrics just start flowing because it's real.
And you just don't put a name to it. Nobody needs to know. And
don't have
then you'll realize that people are going through the same shit you are.
Yeah,
And
but
then-
look at so bring up Kamikaze again, right? So if you look at Revival, you know, from my ear, Revival was kind of Eminem was just showcasing his lyricism. And then in Kamikaze, he was addressing people. He was like talking to people. Like he had a message specifically for people. And so for me, it's not just the controversy that made it so big. It's that fact that he was writing to somebody specific. Whereas maybe in Kamikaze, maybe he did some of that, in Revival was more him just kind of showcasing his skills and bringing other artists into it and stuff.
And
So
it's always better. It's always better when we don't know who you're talking about. Kamikaze's out right now. Shout out to you. Shout out to Layne Cornell. Thank you for that input and insight on what you've already learned. And it's crazy because I already can tell that this is going to be bananas. We're going to follow you. So if you go ahead, make sure you get that Facebook page. Because me and my personal life, I'm freaking crazy. So I got disclaimers for people who I add. Yeah. Because, one day you just snapping. And I don't burn Nikes. I just don't. I don't understand that. So, the world's going crazy. But yeah, it's all good. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody listening. We can't wait for that Three Kings. And talk about that Three Kings. We're going to go future right now. And we're going to talk about this Mended Heart. We're going to end the show with this going on there. And whenever you got a song, man, just let us know if it's a single and we'll put it on rotation for you.
Awesome.
Keep doing your thing. We're here. QSJ Radio.
It's been a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Tell me how am I supposed to go on? Now that you're gone, everything is so wrong. I'm on the ledge just trying to hold on. And right now I'm not feeling so strong. Somebody please tell Cupid quit throwing darts. How you supposed to fall in love when you got a broken heart? My soulmate says she changed and we grown apart. My world don't make no sense now, it's all blown apart. All I have left to live for is this vocal art. Trying to transform this broken heart into an open heart. Praying for healing cause this feeling feels so dark. I know I'ma be alright for the most part. And I'ma get back on my feet, but it's a slow start. I think I might go solo, no co-star. At least for now, while I'm looking for my North Star. Might take a trip, write some lyrics somewhere offshore. Come up with something dope and take the show on tour. Still I be thinking about it during the encore. This heartbreak ain't no joke, no it's hardcore. Must be a glutton for punishment cause I want more. Tell me how am I supposed to go on? Now that you're gone, everything is so wrong. I'm on the ledge just trying to hold on. And right now I'm not feeling so strong. Tell me how am I supposed to go on? Now that you're gone, everything is so wrong. I'm on the ledge just trying to hold on. And right now I'm not feeling so strong. I feel like every action is a distraction from the pain I'm feeling, that's the price of this passion. I just pray this will give me some more compassion. Cause right now I feel like Cupid's an assassin. I'm backtracking, I keep asking how it happened. How we get here, this isn't how I imagined. We planned the future together, now I'm abandoned. Everything's all upside down like a handstand. Got me thinking I might need to get a CAT scan. Got me going crazy, acting like a madman. And I just feel like breaking everything like Bam Bam. But I'll be damned if I let it make me a bad man. I think I might just take a walk until I can't stand. The more I think about it, seems like it's a grand plan. Cause somehow, some way I need a change, yeah. I think I can make it through another day, yeah. Tell me how am I supposed to go on? Now that you're gone, everything is so wrong. I'm on the ledge just trying to hold on. And right now I'm not feeling so strong. Please tell me how do I go on without you now? I'ma show you how I'ma go on. Now that you're gone, I'm just saying so long. I was on the edge just trying to hold on. But now I'm on top and I'ma go strong. I'ma show you how I'ma go on. Now that you're gone, I'm just saying so long. I was on the edge just trying to hold on. But now I'm on top and I'ma go strong. Despite the years that I lost trying to make you happy, and the tears that I dropped getting all sappy, I'ma be a gentleman, I'ma keep it classy. Just know I'ma be fine. You don't need to I'ma heal on my own and do it naturally. Turn this pain into gold and practice alchemy. And I don't really care who you date after me. There's only one like me in the galaxy. Now that I'm practically free from your gravity, I'ma go after my dream and live my fantasy. So thank you for the pain and for the agony. Cause this insanity don't have to be a tragedy. See, I can feel more now, there's more capacity. It makes me think this was part of God's strategy. Cause I'm a better man for it, that's reality. I'ma show you how I'ma go on. Now that you're gone, I'm just saying so long. I was on the edge just trying to hold on. But now I'm on top and I'ma go strong. I'ma show you how I'ma go on. Now that you're gone, I'm just saying so long. I was on the edge just trying to hold on. But now I'm on top and I'ma go strong.
Drawing inspiration from Tupac's genius and energy, Rakim's wise and crazy flow, as well as Eminem's humor and lyrical alchemy. Layne pours out words that paint a picture of his life and evolution through the street, intellectual, and spiritual worlds. These three versions of himself are taking shape in his current album, Three Kings.
Where the unsigned go to get heard. QSJ Radio.
Big shout out to everybody listening in. Tune in to QSJRadio.com, home of the unsigned artists. You can find this podcast right now on Stitcher. Yes, on Stitcher. You go ahead and search QSJ Radio, and you will find like every podcast we had for the last 8 to 9 years. And then you search, and you will find out that we have been interviewing people that you probably go to the gym with. It's ridiculous. But anyways, on Stitcher and on TuneIn.com, download that app, make us your favorite, and chat with us there. And we will probably chat back and tell you thank you for tuning in. But that's it. I want to give a shout out to everybody that was watching on YouTube. Live streaming on Ustream, on Periscope, on our 2 Facebook pages, on Twitch, and on Mixer, exclusively on the Xbox and Xbox One X. Thank you all for tuning in to QSJ Radio. Artists that want rotation, please inbox us and we will get you to understand what's going on there. And anyone that wants to donate to us and get an interview done, like I said before, only QSJ Radio cares about you. I mean, people do. People other do. I mean, maybe your brother, maybe your mom, maybe your sister. I don't know who cares. But my whole team around me cares about you too. Shout out to all the artists that are doing their thing, rather whatever it is that you're doing, producing, artistry, maybe even painting. I don't know. But shout out to you guys. This has been our show, an exclusive interview with Layne Cornell. You can find him on LayneCornell.com or on Facebook at Layne Cornell. That's LayneCornell.com. That is LayneCornell.com. Follow the kid. He knows what he's doing. Shout out to everybody listening in.
Warning, warning. Unauthorized use of hit music.
The #1 station for the unsigned artist.
QSJ Radio.
On www.qsjradio.com.
You start here.